You know that a combination lock won't open if it's off by one number, right? You got to get the right combination, and when you get that right combination, but the thing is, people are afraid of getting it wrong. So there's a quote that I want to give you guys. Listen closely. Seeking approval will get you closer to the mistakes that you're trying to avoid. And brilliance is what?
On the other side of disaster.
Brilliance is on the other side of the mistake, of disaster, of the problem. And the thing is, people don't reach these levels because they're afraid of looking weird, looking uncomfortable, getting it wrong. Oh my gosh, getting it wrong. You know how many things we get wrong? Before you even put one foot out of your bed, you're already getting things wrong. So why are you worried about it? This is where you come up and you got to just take the chance to let it go. You can write it down in your notes, which is really great, and review them, but you got to put them into practice and put them into effect. And then when you put them into effect, you get into that place where all of a sudden you're in that magic zone. And when you get in that magic zone, when you're in that place where the performance zone, where you hit that performance zone, you can do no wrong. You have all the grace in the world. So I want you to think about a personal relationship right now. Think about the beginning of a personal relationship. Usually at the beginning of any personal relationship, you want to get everything right. Especially us dudes if we're courting a girl, right? We want it right. We want it to go right. You better make sure that table, the one that I reserved, is there. Right? You know what I'm... What?
It wasn't there.
I hate when that happens, right? What's the matter with you? I called you every day for 2 weeks. Can't you get this straight? You want everything to be right. Ladies, maybe you too. You go out and buy that special outfit, you put a little money into the mani and the petty, you want it all to be right. And you want it all to be right. But what happens once you know, wow, this person loves me, and I love this person, and now the love is activated, it's like it's all right. It all works. You don't have to work for it, because you're there. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Can you follow this analogy? When you're in a scene and you're trying to get it right, you're trying to get the blocking right, you're trying to make sure you implement the coaching notes, you want to get the stage direction down, you want to make sure you got all the words right, and you're trying to get the scene right. It's like, okay. But when that gets you to a point where you're like activated and the character comes alive and the scene narrative comes alive, what the scene is about, the story that the scene is about comes alive, and you're in that space, you can get away with murder. Because we want to see those mannerisms, we want to see those idiosyncrasies, we want to see those things about you. But when you try to do them and you're in that perfection attitude, you can't get there. When you get to that place where you know how to get to the zone and you access that zone, then you can improvise. Now you can start taking chances and you can do things. And most of them will work because you're activated. And that's what is known as being in the zone. You know, when you're in the zone, I want to get in the zone, they're in the zone, he's in the zone, she's in the zone, look, they're in the zone, wow, the game's going great, they're in the zone. Everybody's in the zone. Say in the zone. In the zone. You're in the zone. You're in the zone. But it's like we throw these cliches around, but what does it mean? There's 2 ways you get in the zone. 2 ways. I've been studying this for decades. 2 ways you get in the zone. 1 is with no information at all. 2 is with all the information that you need. And anything in between, you're struggling. This is the way it works. So, when you don't have any information about something and you have to step up to the plate and do it, and you're like, I don't know, I've never done this before, I don't know. A lot of times, you're in the zone. Otherwise known as beginner's luck. Yeah, beginner's luck. It's the same kind of thing. Well, that's beginner's luck. Well, what is beginner's luck? Beginner's luck is you don't have enough information to screw it out. And you let it go. I'll give you an idea. When I was an actor hitting the streets, I had a mini gang. We weren't a bad gang, we were a fun gang. But there were 5 of us, and we were a gang. And we just got together all the time. We went out, we loved drinking beers and playing pool. That's just what we loved to do, play pool and drink beers. And we knew all the pool halls in town. And we loved to play pool. And the thing is, once we were getting into the zone and really getting going, they were throwing us out of the bars because 1:30 came around and then they were throwing us out. And we were like, this sucks, man. We don't want this to end. This is crazy. So all of us chipped in and we bought a pool table. We cleared out the basement in my 3-story Hollywood Hills house. And we cleared it out, got rid of all the junk. We painted it, bought carpeted it, and we built a pool hall in my basement. And we all owned a pocket and a half. And we bought this pool table, and we called it the Nest. So when we were out in the bars, and we were like, hey, they're getting ready to throw us out, let's go back to the Nest. And we'd go back to the Nest and we'd play pool till 4, 5, 6 in the morning. We were actors. What the hell? We were doing our thing. And we would play pool. But the thing is, we wanted to play a lot of pool, and we couldn't play as much pool as we wanted to, so we invented this game called Speed Pool. And we had a whole rule book, and you had to play under the clock. So you only had anywhere from, whether it was a 3-second speed game, a 2-second speed game, or a 1-second speed game, you only had that much time between each shot. And so what happened is we could play 5 times as many games at the same time as it would take to play one game. So we figured out how to bend time so that we could play Speed. So we invented this game called Speed. It was really, really cool. Then we had full contact speed. That'd be like if they're in your way, you just freaking hit them with the stick and get them out of the way. We got intense with this. It was great. But here's where this applies to the acting. When we would want to go out and be social and hang around in the clubs and meet people, we'd go out to a pool hall. And we go out to a pool hall and we meet the girls and everything, and we'd say, hey, you want to play some pool? And they said, well, what are you guys playing? I said, well, we're playing Speed. Well, I don't know what the deal is. So when they would play regular pool, they would go, and they'd scratch, and the ball would fly off, and it wouldn't get in the pocket, and it would go everywhere. When we had them play Speed pool, they played like freaking ninjas. Because why?
They weren't thinking about the shot.
They didn't have time to think about the shot. And because they didn't think about it, they didn't have enough information, we didn't let them have enough information, boom, they would play. And it was just an amazing experiment to watch how this worked, that if you're not overthinking something, Lisa Luna, and you just jump into it and you get after it, and you allow the zone to activate, boom. This is why I say when you get a chance to do a cold read, an ice cold read, or go out in the hall and read it over a couple times, don't go out in the hall and read it over a couple times. Trust your freaking line lifting skills that you learn here, those technicalities, and say, no, let me just have a second with this. No, I'm ready to go. Why? Because now you don't have enough information to screw it up, and you're not going to get enough information to be in the zone on the other end. Is this making sense? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at the other end. The other end is you've got all the information that you need, and we sometimes call it confident cocky. You know, you start coming up, people tell you you're cute. You know, they say, you're kind of cute, you got swag, you got something about you. And you start becoming a teenager and you start realizing, hey man, I got this thing about you. You become drinking age, you start walking into clubs and you're like, yeah. Because you got all the information you need, even if it isn't real information, it's enough information for you to give you swagger. And then you go in there and now you don't have any hesitations. I can do whatever I need to do because you got the information that you need. Think about sports. Think about any clubs, any hobbies, any groups that you're part of. When you first get there, you're like, I don't know anybody. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. The acting class, here, anything like this. And then what happens is you get in, you start finding your place. You're no longer a guest. She's an auditor. Right? Who's the other newer person in here? Lexi, although she was here before. Lexi, you got Andrew. You know, kind of coming in new, and then what happens after a few classes? It's like, oh, the feet go up on the desk. It's like, yeah, why? Because now it's not all new. Now it's your studio. These are your scene partners. I'm your coach, and you're going to do your thing in here. And then you start getting a little bit of a, hey, it's working out. Things are going really good. You start getting that attitude. Now you're like, hey, all right, here I go. Let's do an audition technique. Hey, I'm a badass. Let's go. And there's no fear and there's no hesitation. Why? Because now you have all the information you need, at least in your own mind, to be able to be in that zone again. But this place between the early part, where you have beginner's luck, where you don't have enough information to screw it up, and this place where you have all the information you need to have swagger is this other place where you're like, ah! And that's where a lot of people live, is in that space. And that's why a lot of people screw up and they can't give a solid performance in an audition. You guys are so screwed up right now because you're doing more self-tapes. We didn't have self-tapes. We had to go into a casting office and perform. You guys get to go, no, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. 63 takes later, yeah, I'm going to submit this one.
Yep.
And then you do that, and then it's great. And then you get the call back, and they go, now we want to see you do it live. And you're going to go, oh, fuck, because you're not prepared for it. You see, it's so screwy. You got to be able to deliver all the time, anytime, right away. You got to be able to deliver. That's where you need to be. So think about this zone thing. I'm telling you, this is how it works. You only get this. It's like being a virgin, man. Once it's over, it's over. That's it. You can't do it again. Okay? It's over. Once you unwrap the packaging, it's unwrapped. Once the oxygen hits the food, it's done. You can't go back. Then you go through this learning thing until you get to this, and this is the goal, that you're getting to this place. But here's a little bit of an insight I'm going to give you, and then we're going to stop. You can hack this. Everybody say, I like hacks.
I like that.
You can hack this, and here's how you hack it. You hack it with, you get enough information to understand it, not enough to fully have it, but then you can take this margin and stretch it here with your confidence, and you can fake it. And that's if you got enough guts to be able to take that much information when you need that much information, to take that much information and stretch it to that information because your confidence is strong. And you can overcompensate with your confidence. And I will tell you something. I will flat out be completely honest and candid with you right now. I faked the entire beginning of my career. Totally. I faked it. Because I was 30 years old. I just came out of 10 years as a corporate motivator. I was assistant to the president of a Fortune 500 company. I had swag. I understood life. I understood people. I studied under some of the best freaking trainers in the world. I was at the top of my class when I quit to become an extra. It's true. I quit. Man, my girlfriend and I, we had in the 80s, we had a 6-figure income in the 80s. And I quit it to make nothing. $50 for 14 hours sitting in a hole with another bunch of people. But I went, I'm going to start listening and paying attention. What's that guy talking about? Who's he? What's his position? I found a call sheet laying around. I went, ooh, what's this? Oh, these are all the positions. What are the names? Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, let me see. Okay, great. All right, guys, line up. Let's see. Everybody line up. Okay. You, come forward. Yeah, you're featured. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. And then just started getting featured. Started getting featured, and then paying attention and listening. And then they're saying, okay, can you do this? Yeah, I can do it. I don't know what the hell it was. I just had confidence. I was just, how bad could it be? How bad is it going to get? I was a fireman for 3 years. I mean, I'm not walking into a burning building. I mean, seriously, how bad is it going to be? Somebody's going to yell at me? I mean, stop, think about it. I'm just trying to be real. We get so scared. This world today is going to be so fearful and gentle and tender and it's like, come on. If you want something, you got to go after it. You got to be ferocious for it. And then I just start doing it and started doing it. And then they go, oh, well, hey, listen, we're going to give you a line. And I learned what it meant to be, a principal. I'm getting a contract? This is cool. And I got a contract and I saw the difference in the pay and I went, I want this. I want this. And then I started getting this. And then guess what? I got another one of these and I wanted to throw up. And I told my agent, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. No more extra. I'm not doing any more extra work. I'm doing only principal work. Don't send me out on anything except principal work. And I drew the line in the sand. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. That's how it worked for me. I just BS'd my way in with confidence and knew what I wanted and knew what I didn't want, and I stuck to that. You see, you're going to get what you accept, not what you expect. You get what you accept. You don't rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your training. And if your training is, I had enough life training and enough confidence training to be able to sustain me where I didn't have information. And I had to learn the information, then started taking acting classes, and then started learning the terminology, reading acting books, then starting to figuring out all that stuff, and then putting the pieces together. Then I started realizing what was BS and what was real. You know, people that were spoon-feeding a bunch of nonsense, you know, saying they're coaches or teachers or whatever, and then going, you know, come on, what's that? And then finding the people that really were delivering something that was going to help me develop a process. You know, it's a journey that you take, but you don't, the confidence will take care of so much. But why aren't you confident? Because you have insecurities. Well, why are you insecure? Because of all kinds of freaking reasons why you're insecure. There's endless reasons now why you're insecure. But if you really get to the core basis of it, it has to do with your opinion of yourself and your value system, unless you hang out with a bunch of family members and roommates that are a bunch of dweebs that are telling you crap and talking garbage all the time. And if you're doing that, you got to get away from that. Because that's not going to help you. It's going to freaking hurt you. You got to get around people who are going to edify you. They're going to encourage you. They're going to believe in you and tell you that you can. Because that goes so stinking far. And you got to start talking to yourself that way. Because if you talked to your best friends the way that your mind talks to you, you wouldn't have any best friends. So you got to get a handle on that. So you're not constantly saying, what's wrong with me? I can't do this. This doesn't work. Why does everybody else? I don't understand this. I don't get that. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, shut them up. Just shut them up. You got to make the choice. You make the choice, because if you can say that stuff, why can't you say, I'm amazing, I'm fantastic, I can get this done. You know something? You do a really good job. You know, go get them. You're a champion. Keep at it. Come on, there it is. That's it. Oh, you took a step back. Don't take a step back. Get ready for the comeback. It's coming. Let's go. Keep positive. Why can't you talk to yourself like that? And then you have people in your life that are talking to you like that. And if not, go to YouTube and plug them in. They're all over out there. Seriously, we had to pay for these guys. We had like this guy, Tony Robbins, and it cost you $5,000 to hear him talk. You can go in your back pocket and you can get anybody for free. Why aren't you plugging it in? Listen to it. Share it with your friends. Get that positive thing going. What else are you doing? You're thinking 60,000 freaking thoughts a day. Gentlemen, ladies, you're like 90. You're thinking all these thoughts a day. What are they doing? Are they producing a positive thing in you? Or are they getting you down? That's what you need to stop and think about. And this is what you have to stay encouraged in. Then you build on that, and you build on that, and build on that. And then you actually get to that point where you are in this place. I got a process. I've been through the CBSI Act course. I know the system. I'm being trained. I'm in a studio. I go on artist adventures. Don't know what they are? Figure it out. You're missing out on the art. I'm studying the technicalities. I have a line lifting sheet. You're learning these things and you're getting them, and then you apply them, and then when you have them, boom. Now, you get an audition. Great, my opportunity to showcase all this work I've been doing. Not, oh my gosh, I hope I do well. I get to showcase. I hope I do well. I get to showcase. I hope I do well. Which one are you? You know, I mean, what are you doing? That's your job. Your job is to get in there and punch them in the face with this stuff. You're in here training, and then when it's time, bam! Let me show you what I can do. Take over the room. Take over the self-tape. And submit that bad boy with confidence and courage. And take chances. Got it? All right, cool.